Yeah, guys are working hard. Yeah, we made key stops when we had to have it late. Gave ourselves a chance to pull out that game, and it's good to be 2-2 right now with 2 wins in the division or in the conference, and turning our full attention to the Saints.
Just secondary in particular, are they where you want them right now, just in terms of the communication, the way they're playing in general?
Yeah, we're working at it. We're working at it. We've had a couple breakdowns that we'd like to get corrected ASAP. So, but the guys are working really hard.
What is your linebacking core with John Bostic, and kind of what are you going to look for from Khalid or David Mayo?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a next man up, philosophy around here. As it occurs, it's kind of fluid. So, as the week finishes up, we're getting our guys prepared for different roles and different assignments, and we'll see it unfold. As the week finishes up, then we'll get more clarity with that. But right now we're working different combinations and getting guys prepared.
How specifically have you seen Khalid's game improve or grow since training camp?
Well, I think he played a little bit last year. Did a nice job in the time that he got. He had a good camp, good productive camp. So, yeah, he's doing a good job working at his trade and improving as a football player. And he's been impactful, helping us on special teams to start the year.
Jamin is in line for a bigger role because of John's injuries. What have you seen from him, and did you give him any advice or anything for next?
Yeah, I think clearly Jamin will get more snaps, and that's good for him, good for us. I mean, he's a good player, and it kind of heightens the need for him to continue to grow and become the player we know he can be.
Is there a benefit to giving those more snaps early on, like being thrown to the fire, so to say? Like, do you think no benefit from that?
Yeah, I think, and the benefit, is that we've been rolling him in regularly throughout, So, yeah, I like the way he's approaching it. We're making progress, and we just want to see him continue to work and improve and be an impactful player for us.
Anything you guys do with the Saints quarterback situation, make sure your communication's on in terms of their personnel and what you guys need to be doing?
As far as the Saints,
Quarterback with James.
Jameis, a very capable player. He's had a lot of production in this league. He's definitely got the arm talent, put the ball anywhere on the field, and he's a guy that's got more elusiveness maybe than he's given credit for. So does a nice job keeping plays alive, things like that. So we're getting ready for the best the Saints have to offer. Sean Payton's done a great job with that organization for many years, and they continue to have a strong team.
And with Chase Young in particular, people will see no sacks on the top line, but how do you feel he's done, and where would you like him to be?
He got a nice sack last week. we just got to take it away. But it was a key stop, right, on fourth down. So we've had a few of those get taken away. But the way I look at it, those things tend to even out, and we've got a lot of good ones coming.
Just go back to last week for a second. Obviously, you have to adjust to whatever with personnel, whatever you have. Maybe you have some injuries, playing different funks. You guys use a lot more 6 defensive backs than you had previously. Even Atlanta kind of stayed with like 2 receivers for the most part. Just curious, is that sort of a matchup for that moment, or is this a point of trying to find different combinations to kind of get things going for you guys?
It's just part of game planning and preparing for the opponent and things we think that we can do best with the people we have. And so, yeah, I mean, that's something that, as we put our plan together each week, that we're trying to do is give ourselves the best opportunity with those we have available. And that was part of the plan for last week.
And as far as the safeties, you guys talked about the versatility with your top 3 guys, and you use them different ways. Cam Curl, his snaps were going up. Last week he played a little bit less than the other 2. Just kind of curious, where is he kind of fitting in right now? How do you feel he's kind of doing?
He's doing a great job. He drew coverage on number 8 last week, who was their gifted player out of Florida, and did a nice job with that. And so we love where Cam is, you know, a really good football player doing a great job for us.
Through 4 weeks, what have you learned about William Jackson III, and how do you think he's kind of fitting in there at the secondary?
Yeah, we're learning. We're constantly learning, you know, each other, strengths, weaknesses. You know, as coaches, we want to do all we can to maximize the exposure that we give to our players in places where they are strongest. And so we'll continue to work at that.
Has he allowed you to play more man? Kind of, I know that was a goal once you guys signed him to be more, you know, variable with your coverages. How do you think that's going with him? his
Yeah, and,
addition?
you know, and I think, you know, to me, you know, there's always a blend. You always, you know, grow with your players and their strengths as you go throughout a season, and every year is a new year, you know. So I would say that, yeah, he gives us the ability to do that, and I think he's a good football player, and was not guilty of a PI last week. I mean, he was called for it, but again, we've got some of those calls coming back the other way.
Does playing a dual threat running back like Cordarrelle Patterson last week kind of help you prepare this week for a guy like Alvin Kamara and kind of figure out what works and what doesn't?
Two different guys. I think, you know, certainly, you know, unique talents, both of them. Cordarrelle, I'm really happy for him. Great young man. I had him in Oakland, and I'm really happy with him. I told him that, even though I didn't like the fact that he put up numbers on us. I'm happy for him as a young man. He's really blossoming right now with what Arthur's doing with him. But Kamara is a whole different guy. I mean, this guy's, you know, spectacular. I mean, he's really gifted. He definitely has our attention.
Chuck, is third down defense attitude? Is it scheme? Is it some combination of all of that?
It's all about production. You know, bottom line is we have not started that part. I really feel like that will unlock a lot of good things for our defense. You know, again, this is kind of a theme here today, but at the end of the half, the call on Torrey was not accurate. That's a key third down that allows them to continue. Instead of us getting the ball with a chance to go in and score again before the half, we end up with a long drive that ends up with points for them. So, you know, clearly, you know, getting stops in those situations on third down, that's key to any good defense. And, you know, I always talk to our guys about, you know, when you want to eliminate a good ground game, how do you do it? Get off the field on third down. And that's the biggest key. So we need more stops on third down. That's clearly a focus, and we're working hard at it.
Jack, just in terms of things that you guys can control, I know the calls and things of that nature are completely out of it, but in terms of like things like tackling, I think there was one play, I think it was Cordarrelle Patterson had one where he broke 3 or 4 tackles. Just generally speaking, how frustrating is that for you, since that's such a fundamental part of defense, is just getting the guy down to the ground when you have them below the sticks?
Yeah, as far as tackling, yeah, I mean, we had too many missed tackles in the last ball game, and I mean, tackling, there's some basic tenets to playing good defense, and you know, winning on third down is part of it. Tackling, swarming tackling is part of it. Disrupting the quarterback, you know, all those things. So that's clearly one of them. Yeah, the tackling was not strong like we needed it to be last week.
We'll take 2 more.
Have you ever been in a situation where all of your players say like they get the idea of like what's wrong, they understand it's misassignments or like missed gaps and stuff like that, and it just sort of clicked for them? If you've been in a situation like that, what kind of happened there? How did they finally correct the ship there?
Well, I think what's happening is there's a lot of talk, and you can't talk your way out of it. So it doesn't really matter what I say, what we talk about, it's what we do. You know, it's a production-based business. We need to play better in those areas, and a lot of things will be unlocked. Our defensive, I guess, how people look at our defense will dramatically change as we strengthen our third down stops, and that will happen.
I may ask one last question. There have been a few third downs where you guys did get the stop, but they got a number of yards. I think Daniel Jones had like an 11-yard run on like a 3rd and 13 or something like that, and they were able to get in the field goal range. There have been a few plays like that where, again, you got them you didn't get them, you did not allow the pass to six, but just for you, like, is that something else you're watching, is like making sure that the other team doesn't even get in the range for field goal or something along those lines on those
Yeah,
drives?
yeah. I mean, stops, 3 and outs, turnovers, those are where you want to start. And, yeah, obviously, tackling is a big part of that.